So hello everyone, we are back again with our latest video on SQL tutorial Abikacho by Abikacho Groups. And in this particular video, we are going to discuss a very important concept in SQL Server, which is magic tables in SQL Server triggers. And this particular topic is important for interview perspective also. And while you are going to do jobs, then if you know about the magic tables, then it will be very easy for you to manage and automate all your tasks and job. Okay, now move on and check what are magic tables. So what are magic table in SQL? So as the name suggests, the magic table in SQL processes a certain mystique in SQL Server. They are temporary virtual tables that the database engine internally manages. Okay, so basically these are virtual tables that the database engine internally manage. Okay, so magic tables are accessible exclusively within triggers and store the affected row values during DML operations. So basically these magic tables are generated while we are performing uh, DML statements like insert, update, and delete, and these are executed inside a trigger itself. The scope of a magic table is within the trigger, and it cannot be used outside the trigger or somewhere else. Okay, so basically there are two main types of magic tables exist, that are inserted and deleted. Now we will go through the definition of each of them, inserted and deleted. Then we will move on to SSMS and check the practical and how to use these magic tables. Okay, so what is the first? Inserted table. So the inserted table holds the new row value affected by an insert or update operation. The inserted table contains the newly inserted rows when an insert statement is executed. So basically the inserted table will hold the values when the value is getting inserted into a table or the value is getting updated into the table. So whenever the value is getting inserted, then it will contain the newly added value, and whenever the value is getting updated, then it will contain the newly updated value. Okay, so basically in the case of an update statement, the inserted table holds the updated value of the row as we have discussed. So the table enables trigger to access and analyze latest data. Okay, so don't worry if you don't understand by the definition. Once we go to the practical session, then you will understand what the inserted table is holding and what kind of record it is managing. Okay, now move on and check what are deleted tables. So the deleted tables on the other hand stores the before version of rows affected by an update or delete operation. So basically when it update happens, then the deleted table will hold the previous version that is currently existing, and when the delete is happening, then it will contain the deleted record. Okay, so during an update, the deleted table holds the original values of the modified rows, and in the case of an delete statement, the deleted table contains the deleted rows. Okay, so this is clear. Now it allows triggers to access the previous state of the data and perform comparison or logging operation. So basically these magic tables are mostly used for audit purposes and also for logging operations, and also if you want some action to be taken place in a table uh, after some insert, update, or delete happened on a certain table, then in that case you can use this table inside the triggers. Now move on to SQL Server Management Studio and check how these magic tables are getting used in SQL Server. Okay, so now move on to SSMS. So here we have created one database dedicated to this particular session, which is magic table. Okay, now here we have one employee table. So here we have some record in the employee table. Now first of all, we need to create a trigger on top of employees table to access the magic table, because the scope of the magic table is within the trigger only. Outside we cannot use them. Like if you write like select select star from inserted, sorry, select star from inserted, then this particular table will not work. Okay, because it is outside the scope of an trigger, and here you can see it is throwing an error like invalid object inserted. Okay, but first of all we will create one trigger on top of employees, and this will be an insert trigger. Okay, on insert, after insert. Okay, after insert we need to check what the inserted table value is available. Okay, now open a new query window and create a trigger. So for trigger we have already posted one video on triggers, how the triggers are working, types of triggers, and inserted and deleted table we have also explained there but little bit. But here you will find out the complete process of magic tables. Okay, so now first of all create a trigger. So for creating a trigger, the syntax will be like create create trigger create trigger, and then the trigger name. So tr underscore employee employee table employee table on insert. Okay, on insert. Okay, so always keep the name of the triggers and all, or any database object that you are creating by yourself, in such a way that you can be able to find it out when it is required. Okay, so inserted by this particular name, we can understand that employee on employees table we have the inserted trigger. Okay, then create trigger name on which table, on table employee, and then after insert as begin and then end. Okay, so if you don't understand the syntax of trigger and how to create the trigger, then you can watch our triggers video. That is a very good video on triggers, and that have all the details on how to create and manage the trigger. Now we will check the inserted table here. So what we need to check, we need to check the inserted table, what is the record available in the inserted table. So you can see when we are using these magical table like inserted and deleted inside the trigger, then it will execute, because the scope of these magical table is within the trigger only. So now do a select star from inserted. Okay, now this is the query that we will use. Okay, now create this trigger, execute this. Now whenever we are going to insert value into the employee table, then we will get the select star from the inserted table, means what value is available in the inserted table. So the newly inserted value which is going to be inserted in the table is available in the inserted table. Okay, so it is a virtual table that is created within the trigger. Okay, so now insert one value, insert into employee table, employees, and then values. Then here in employees table, what are the things we have, which columns we have the, execute this, we have the id, name, and salary. So id we will take like 3, and then name like Mary, and then salary will be like 45,000. Okay, now what output it will provide. So we have an inserted trigger on top of this employees table. Now when we execute this, then you can see, here you can see one record it is providing, which is available in the inserted table, select star from inserted. And here you can see 3 records it is providing. 3 record why it is providing, I need to check. Okay, basically we have already created one trigger on top of this particular table. So first of all we need to drop that trigger. Okay, so which trigger we have, so this tr employee table inserted we have already created. Okay, so basically we are practicing before giving the tutorial, so that trigger is left. Now drop this. For dropping this trigger, how we will drop a trigger, this particular tutorial will also happen here. So drop trigger and then trigger name. Okay, now this is the query to drop the trigger. So here you can drop it. Okay, so this trigger has been dropped. Now when we insert a new value in this, like insert one more value in the employee table, like here we will use, sorry for this, here we will use Reena, 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 and her salary will be 45,000. Okay, now execute this. So when we are inserting, we are getting one select statement from the inserted table, which is for Reena and the 45,000, the record that we are going to insert currently, and the message will be like one row affected and one row affected. So how and where you can use this particular record. So this particular inserted record you can use for logging purpose. You can means check if someone has inserted some value on a particular table or not, like employee table, and you can also store this particular value to maintain some separate log that what kind of record has been inserted and at what time it is inserted. Okay, so these kind of examples we have already given on our trigger video, so that is more related to trigger. So here just we will check what the output of inserted and deleted table will come when we perform the dml commands like insert, update, and delete. So for insert, what the inserted table will provide, it is clear. Now we can alter this trigger. and add the deleted table also. So alter 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 trigger name, and then here we will add one more statement, like we will check from the deleted table also what records it is providing on insert, update and delete. Okay, so select start from deleted. So as we have discussed in our means that theoretical part, like deleted will provide no value when it is, when the record is getting inserted, because there is no delete happened on the table. Basically we are doing an insert, so in that case only the inserted table will store the latest record. So here we will insert one more record, like Ramesh. Okay, and 45,000 will be fine. Here you can see what it is providing. It is providing null value for the deleted table and the latest value for the inserted table, and message 101. Okay, now we will check what are the records that will be generated in inserted and deleted table when we perform a update trigger. Okay, so let's create one update trigger on top of the employees table. Okay, so to create the update trigger, what we will use, create create trigger, and then trigger name tr underscore employee table on update. Okay, on which table, on employee table, after update. Okay, after update as now begin and then end. So now we will select the inserted and deleted table here, what record they are providing when we are updating the record. Okay, when we have the update trigger, so select star from inserted, and then we have the select star from deleted. Okay, now create this trigger, execute this. Okay, now we will try to update some values in the employees table. So select star from employees. Okay, and if you don't understand anything in this video, then you can let us know in the comment, like which part you have not understand and on which part you need some clarity. Now we are going to update John's record. Okay, so update table, employee table. So update employee table, set salary equals to 99,000, where name equals to John. And John. Okay, now when we execute this update statement, then what will happen, we need to check, means what records the inserted and updated table will, inserted and deleted table will provide the magical tables. Now execute this and check. So here you can see in the inserted table the value will be like the latest value which is getting updated. Okay, 1 John 99,000, and in the deleted table we have the original record that the table was containing, like 1 John 50,000. Okay, now this is clear. Now move on and check what it will return when we perform a delete action, what the both inserted and deleted table will provide when we have the after delete trigger. Okay, now open a new query window. Now create a trigger for deleted case. So create, create trigger, and then the trigger name. So tr underscore employee on delete on delete. Okay, this is the trigger name on which table, on employee table, and then after delete as, and then begin and end. So here we will check for the inserted and deleted table records. Okay, so select star from inserted, and then second line will be select star from deleted. Okay, and now execute this and create this particular trigger. Now executed. Now we will try to delete some record in the employee table. So first of all, select star from employee. Now here what records we have? So here we have total 5 records. Now Ramesh record we will delete. Now what the inserted and deleted table will contain? So delete from, guess before I am writing the query, and comment out, like if you can comment. So delete from, and at what time you have commented, that also you can mark in the comment section. So delete from employee table where uh, where id equals to 5. Okay, now we will delete the record. So you can guess what will be the output of inserted table and deleted table. So we will execute this. So here you can see, as no insert has happened, so inserted table is blank in this case when we are performing any delete operation, and inserted table and deleted table will provide the record which is getting deleted. Okay, so here you can see 0 1 1. Okay, so what is the conclusion from this? So the conclusion from this is, whenever we are performing insert, then the inserted table will contain only the value and deleted table will contain no value. When we are performing the update, then inserted table will contain the value which is getting updated, and deleted table will contain the original value which is pre-existing in the table. And when we are performing the delete, the inserted table will contain no record, and the deleted table will contain the record of that record which is getting deleted. Now move on to the PPT and check what are the advantages of magic tables. So basically, if you need any help regarding how we are going to use the inserted table and where we are going to use the inserted table for auditing purpose or any other purpose or any work if you have in the company or for your practice, then you can let us know in the comment. We will create a separate video for that, for your own use case. Okay, so basically, what are the benefits of magic table in SQL? So magic table in SQL offers several benefits and applications within SQL Server. So number one is the auditing. By accessing before and after value of rows, magic tables enable to implementation of comprehensive auditing mechanisms to track changes made to the data. Okay. Now complex logic. So the values stored in magic table can be leveraged to implement complex business logic or perform conditional operations within triggers. Okay, now data validation. So magic tables allow triggers to validate data modification based on the old and new values, ensuring data integrity and adherence to the business rules. Okay, and the last one is logging and archiving. So triggers utilizing magic tables can log and archive data changes for history purpose or compliance requirements, as we have discussed. So thank you for watching, friends. This is it for the magic tables. And as we are running currently a series on SQL Server query based interview questions, so that you must join and try to means resolve all the questions from there. And if you need any data set related to our interview questions, then you can go to our telegram channel from this particular link, or also the link you will find it on our channel description and also in the video description. And do like, share and subscribe. So many more videos are on the way, and as we have already discussed in all our previous videos, that we are going to create a master series on SQL Server from zero to hero. That will be a complete course that will contain each and every part of SQL Server or SQL or relational database, you can say. Okay, so once we achieve the milestone of 500 subscribers, then we are going to launch that series, so that more and more people will benefit from that particular series. And thank you for watching. Keep watching, comment us. Thank you. Like, share and subscribe. Thank you, friend. Thank you.